Welcome to the Wired for Success podcast, your show for ambitious, mission-driven entrepreneurs who understand that there's more to entrepreneurship than finding the latest flash-in-the-pan strategies, who understand that in order to build your empire, you need a solid foundation. I wholeheartedly believe that entrepreneurship is the biggest self-development journey you can be on, and it's my mission to help you make that journey easier. In this show, I bring together the very best from science, self-development, and entrepreneurship to set you up for sustainable success. Hi, I'm Claudia Garbutt, the scientist and mindset coach behind this show, and you're listening to the Wired for Success podcast. Hey everyone, and welcome back to a brand new episode of the Wired for Success podcast. Today, I'm thrilled to talk to intuitive life and business coach, Dr. Snyder, who's an expert in time management and personal development. As a Navy wife, a proud mom of 4, and an entrepreneur, I'm sure she'll have some valuable tips for us today. So welcome, Stephanie, and thank you so much for being on my show today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
It's going to be so good. So if you have listened to any of my previous episodes, you will probably know what my first question is going to be, because I always like to set the stage by basically asking my guests a variation of the same question just to understand where they're coming from. So my first question for you today is, how did you get started doing what you do today? And I would like to learn a little bit about your educational background and your entrepreneurial journey.
Perfect. Okay. So I got started with my own business about 3 years ago, right after baby number 4 was born. And prior to that, I had finished my PhD, my formal education. My PhD is in higher education, which just means I'm really great at teaching. Essentially. I did my dissertation on whether or not specific metrics can prove success.
Ooh,
turns out, turns out that the metrics that most schools look at to accept applicants has nothing to do with whether or not they'll succeed, which is where my coaching comes into play. Because we can all sit there and go through the strategy all day long, but there's that inner quality which Angela Duckworth calls grit. I like to call it the soul, the spirit, really. That's what determines whether or not you'll be successful, at least from my stance, from the work that I've done. But to back up a little bit, so baby number 4 was born 2 weeks after I defended my PhD dissertation. Yes. Yeah. So it's really funny. I was 36 weeks pregnant when I passed my exams for my coursework and started my dissertation. I was 36 weeks pregnant when I defended my dissertation with baby number 4. Baby number 3, obviously coursework. Baby number 4, the end of the dissertation. So I understand God's humor. It's interesting. Yeah. And then when I finished my PhD, everybody said, well, what are you going to do now? And I thought, I have 4 kids. Well, why do I have to do something else? And it was, I kind of mulled it over and let spirit work through me. And I'll never forget, in the middle of the night, I woke up to God saying, or spirit, whatever word you want to use, you're using your MLM as a crutch. You need to go out and build your own business. And I tried to ignore it for weeks. I was like, nope, I don't want to do it. I'm totally fine. Like, I've got 4 kids. I don't need to do that. But then the vision started to get pulled together. And that's where my first brand, Overjoyed Moms, came from. And I loved that brand. And then starting this year, a very tumultuous year, I was being called to create something with more depth. And so the Opulent Life, my current brand, is what was born out of some more visions earlier this year.
Evolution.
Yes.
What a cool story. And I totally relate to that. I don't know what it is, but apparently whenever you're pregnant, you have to go through this phase of doing something extreme. That's the same thing that happened to me. So for me, it was house renovations. With every baby, there was a major renovation project that basically just started 6 to 8 weeks before my due date. So
naturally.
yeah, as things do, right? So anywho, for those who don't know you or your business yet, can you please summarize your business mission for us? So basically, who is your ideal customer and how does working with you change their life?
So for overjoyed moms, my ideal customer was a mom. I get moms. I know what it's like to work the nap time hustle. I know what it's like to juggle housework and business and everything in between, and then still go, oh, I forgot to do self-care today, right? I know that really well because I lived it. Still living it, right? My kids are 13, 11, 5, and 3. So I get it. For the opulent life, the vision for it is my little tagline is living a rich life by enriching the lives of others. And so this is deeper. This is for the woman, doesn't necessarily have to be a mom, but for the woman who has a business, but is maybe in that comfort zone where she's like, well, I'm making money, but I feel like I'm craving a little bit more, but I'm not sure what that is. And in my work with my clients, we really open them up and really get clear about the vision, because I believe that everybody here is for one specific purposes that nobody else can fill. And you've got to open up and make space for that to come through to fulfill that purpose, right? And it sounds kind of cliche, right? Everybody's like, well, I'm just trying to find my purpose, right? But in the mix of finding their purpose, I see so many people try to create out of business. Can I speak? Create a business out of something that they're passionate about, but it shouldn't be a business, right? Like, I'm really passionate about horses. I'm not going to go start training people how to ride horses, right? That's not what I'm here for. Or I really love being in the kitchen.
Yeah.
I'm certainly not going to start giving cooking lessons, right? And so it's finding the passion, but more finding your zone of genius.
Yeah.
That you can fill, that no one else in the world will fill the way that you do it. And that takes work. That takes you peeling away all these layers and stories of the person that you feel you're supposed to be, or that somebody else wants you to be, right?
Exactly. That's what I was going to say, because that's something that I help my clients too. And it's often that they live the life someone else thinks they should be living, and it's not what really fulfills them.
Right.
They have to develop their own vision and their own purpose. I'm not sure if they have to find the purpose or just define the purpose.
Right.
So
yeah. And that purpose, your purpose could be to stock the shelves at Walmart, right? But it's got to be deep and fulfilling, whatever that is. It's got to fill you up. It can't just be something that you're doing just to make it through the day kind of thing, right? Like,
exactly.
That's not what life is about.
It's intrinsic motivation, or this what makes you happy just by doing it, right? It's the journey that has to make sense. So you have to enjoy the journey, and happiness is kind of like the byproduct of that.
Right. And I talk to so many people that aren't enjoying the journey because they just want to arrive, right? I'm in this job until X, or I'm a mom and I can only be a mom until Y. And it's like, no. Like, I'm a mom, but my kids are my greatest teachers.
Yeah.
Right? Because I allow them to teach me. If I didn't allow my kids to teach me, I would be a nasty mother. I would just scream at them all day long for being children, right? And I'll never forget, my oldest daughter is so good at doing this, right? I'll be at my wit's end, just done with the day, overwhelmed, tired, they're at each other's throats, and she'll go, Mom, and I'll go, what do you want? Right? Like angry. She goes, I love you. And
Oh,
it's like, oh my God, right? Just kills you, because you then realize, okay, why am I really upset? Right?
yeah.
Kids are being kids. This is their job. I need to just be okay with it.
That is sometimes so hard, right?
Yes.
Now, looking back at your personal story, what do you see as your biggest success so far?
Oh, my children. Um, and I say that because my personal development journey got started because of my kids. A little bit of backstory prior to business. Back in 2012, my husband and I came back from 3 years overseas in Sicily. My husband's in the Navy, and we had spent 3 years in beautiful Sicily. Loved it, right? Came back stateside with 2 kids, same area that my husband and I had met in, but very different as a mom of 2, right? We were single newlyweds here, right? And as soon as we came back stateside, my husband got thrown into deployment cycles. And our first year that we were here, he was gone 270 days out of that year.
Ooh.
Yes. So insert mom trying to figure it all out and make friends and get kids in school, and total, utter overwhelm. And I started to lose myself because I didn't feel in control. So I tried to control all these other little things that we do, right? And I was starting to ignore myself. I wouldn't even look in a mirror. I wanted to just disappear at several stages of this. And I remember one night I was putting my son to bed, and I reprimanded him for probably just being a boy. And he climbed onto his bed and he said, "Nobody loves me. I should just disappear." And in that moment, I mean, my heart broke, and I went, oh, that's how I feel. Crap. Because I thought I was doing a great job being the Pinterest perfect mom, right? The laundry was done, the house was clean, home cooked meals, all the things, right? But I was dying inside, and I didn't think it was affecting my kids. But it was.
Yeah.
And it killed me when I realized how much they were getting from me energetically. Because I didn't say any of those things out loud, but I was acting it out.
Yeah.
And so that's where I went, oh, okay. Mom needs to do something for herself, because this is not good. This is ruining the whole family.
Yeah, I totally get that.
And so I started small. I started super small because I was already overwhelmed. I knew I couldn't take on, a 60-day reset thing, right? Like, I needed something that I could easily do that would make me feel successful each day. And I tell my clients this and my audiences all the time. I started with a gratitude journal. I was in such a bad place that I really believed the grass was greener on the other side. Everybody had everything and I had nothing. And so I had to shift that focus. And I started with a gratitude journal where I listed 3 things every single morning that I was grateful for.
Yeah.
First week is usually pretty easy, right? You can be like, my clothes, my house, my family, my the food on the table, those kinds of things, right? But when you get into like 30, 40 days of this, you really have to start to look. But it caused me to shift my perspective.
Yeah.
And so it was no longer, crap, I have to wake up today, right? Because when you're overwhelmed and you're feeling like a failure, you don't want to repeat your days.
Totally been there.
Right? And it shifted to, what am I grateful for today? What am I excited about? And yes, it was a slow shift, but it was what I needed in that space to then start to reevaluate and go, okay, well, where am I wasting my time? Because I need to do more things for me. This feels good to me. How can I fill up my cup more? And so I started to look at my time management and those kinds of things. So
I love that. And I'm still doing the gratitude journal, and I'm still doing the 3 things
I
every
love it. I love it. We do that at dinner with my kids now.
also.
When we sit down to dinner, everybody has to say 3 things that they're grateful for that day.
Oh, that's great. I have to get my kids to do that too. So, especially as a mom, I think we can all agree that 2020 has been a challenging year, right?
Oh, yes.
Especially for us mompreneurs who had to run their businesses while maybe even homeschool our kids and take care of all the other things, all the chores, everything that we do on
Right.
a daily basis.
Yes.
So can you tell us a little bit about how the pandemic impacted you personally and what goals you had for this year, and if you were still able to achieve those goals?
Yes. So I don't want to say, unfortunately, I haven't achieved the goals that I had in January, because I believe that the universe works the way that it's supposed to. And so I'm not upset that a $300,000 year did not get achieved. I'm okay with that, right? Would it have been beautiful? Yes, but there was a lot of growth that had to take place during this year. For me personally, for the world entirely, right? But for me as a mom, I'll be honest, I kind of loved it, because I like having my babies home. And prior to the pandemic, we had decided that my 4 kids would go to private school this year. And so they're in school full time, 8 to 3.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never had that. I cried and cried and cried the first week that my babies were all gone. And then I asked my husband for another, and he said no. But I love the time that I get to spend with my kids, because I realized when my oldest went off to first grade that there was a total stranger influencing him for 8 hours a day. 8 hours a day, Monday through Friday, most of his waking hours. And I was entrusting my child's spiritual, mental, emotional, physical well-being to this total stranger.
Mm-hmm.
And it was scary. And so I said, okay, but this is good for all of us, right? This is good for you to be in school, for mom to be, home and have some time to herself, because I'm not a homeschooling mom. I am not. I will take you to the aquarium, to the zoo, to all of the things, but I don't want to sit down and teach the things that I don't want to teach.
Sure.
I don't want to be a teacher in that container to my kids.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be mom. And so I loved having them home. I was like, cool, what can we do? Even though we couldn't do a lot, right? The whole world was shut down. But we went to the beach, we went fishing, we played games, we got a tent, we camped outside, we got chickens. So we have 6 chickens running around our backyard. We get eggs now, which is
Awesome.
really freaking cool, right? We got a horse. So my 3 older kids are now all in riding lessons. My littlest, she likes to just go see the nays, all the things, right? But we made all of these memories together. And now there's stuff that my kids do with me,
Mm-hmm.
right? They don't go to the barn with their dad. They go play sports in the front yard with dad, because, I'm not that coordinated. But I never had those memories with my mom. My parents got divorced when I was 6, and she worked 2, 3, sometimes 4 jobs just to keep things alive, right? And so the fact that I can go to the barn and hang out with my kids and we can connect on something was so incredibly important to me.
Oh, I love that. I love that you use that time to make those precious memories and to turn it into something special and enjoyable.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, nothing else was open, so we were at the barn.
Yeah. Which is great. I mean,
which is not where the coronavirus lives. Okay. You cannot catch corona at the barn. I don't know if scientifically that's true, but my kids' immune systems are incredible after spending a summer at the barn.
So, even though this sounds like a lot of fun, what would you say was maybe the number one roadblock that you encountered this year, and what did you do to overcome that?
So I am an empath, which means I feel all of the feels, even if I don't want to. I feel other people's feels. And in total honesty, the first month or so of the shutdowns back in March, I couldn't leave the house because there was so much fear energy that I would come home with a massive migraine and be out for a couple of days because it was too intense for me. And so I had to create these rituals to protect my energy. But what I also did was I reverted back to my old ways and I shut down. Not like I didn't close up shop necessarily on my business, but I didn't open my heart. I was like, there's too much going on in the world that I need to protect myself and my family. Was it detrimental to my business? Maybe. But for me, I felt like I needed to do that to survive, right? I kind of went into survival mode where I was sharing content, I was connecting with people, but it was at an arm's distance. I was like, cool, I want to help you, but you stay over there, right? Kind of like the 6 feet thing. You stay over there. Cool. Like I'll help you over there. And it dawned on me probably in September-ish that that's what I had done.
Right.
And so I spent June, July, August, basically, kind of being in my own little bubble and just making the most of it, partly because I knew all my kids were going to school in September and I really wanted to soak up that last little bit of time, but also because I wanted to protect my heart. I could feel all the fear in the world and I didn't want it in my home.
Yeah, I totally get that.
And so I wasn't welcoming clients by the handfuls because I was like, I need to make sure that you're not bringing fear into my house. And I'll never forget when I was sitting down journaling and I was asking God yet again why I had not achieved my goals for the month. And very clearly came through was, it's not about what you're doing, it's about who you're being. Because I had asked, what do I need to do to get this income goal, to get this client, right? And he said, it's not about what you're doing, it's about who you're being. Who are you being? And I was like, oh, shoot. Another word crossed my mind, but we'll keep it rated G, right?
Thank you.
And I said, oh, no. But what I had done was to keep myself safe, right? Was I had focused on all this external stuff. What can I do? What's the strategy? What's the marketing? What's the sales conversation? Just give me the script. I'll do it, right? Like we do in mom mode, just give me the thing, I'll do it, right? But it wasn't about what I was doing. It was about who I was being.
Yeah, that's so common.
And so I had to reevaluate and go, oh, so actually I'm not being the coach, the mom, the person that I want to be. I was being the mom I wanted to be, right? There was no problem there, but I wasn't being the business owner that I wanted to be.
Right.
And so I had to reevaluate that. And it was scary. And I had a couple of meltdowns, but I kept being reminded of the relationships that I have where I've been totally open, whether it's a girlfriend, whether it's my marriage, whether it's my kids, whether it's clients that I've worked with. Those relationships, even if some of them have ended, have been so incredible. And I wouldn't want to close off my heart and miss out on those opportunities. And so how can I continue to stay open and connect with people without the fear of rejection or somebody telling you that you're a bad coach or, you know, wanting a refund or any of those things, right? There's gonna be people who aren't necessarily your people, and you're going to learn a lesson from that. And that's okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't kill you, right? And one of my really close friends from here, they moved in June, and I cried and I cried and I cried when she left. And as I was sitting there in my tears, Spirit moved me and said, but think of all the incredible memories that you had. Mm-hmm. And this hasn't killed you. And I was like, huh, you're right. Didn't kill me. It's not over, right? I still talk to her regularly, but it was, for me, it was always, if somebody tried to leave, I would just shut down. Yeah. Close up shop. Like that was my story. Which is why, you know, and this is probably a lot of backstory, but growing up, I would break up with boyfriends first, so they couldn't hurt me.
That's avoidance behavior.
Yes, yeah. And so, you know, even when my husband would start to deploy and I would have to apologize this, right? He'd be getting ready for deployment. I would start to shut down because I didn't want to get hurt prior to the deployment. And I'd have to warn him and I'd be like, all right, I'm sorry, but I'm shutting down. And he's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, this is my coping mechanism. This is how I'm going to make it through deployment. And it would be like 2 weeks before he deployed. And I would have already been like, all right, peace out. See you later. Like already said goodbye emotionally. Yeah. And he's like, no, we can't do that.
And this is absolutely normal. That's the avoidance behavior that happens when you get into the survival mode and you begin to shut down. And that's when you pull up all those walls and you don't let anyone get close to you to avoid being hurt. Right. And also when you stop connecting with people, you put up that wall, you don't connect anymore, and then you lose that touch with other people. Right.
Yep. And so that's what I did during the first, few months of all of this. And when it was brought to my attention, I had to start taking baby steps because this was a pattern. Yeah. This is something that I've done my whole life, and I had to start baby stepping it. And so it was like, okay, let me start inviting people back into my life, Facebook wise, right? Like social media, instead of sharing all these things at an arm's distance, right? Because you can share stuff where it's valuable, but you're like, okay, I don't need to talk to you, right? But that's not the work that I'm in, right? You got to go deep with people. And so I had to start opening up and go deeper with people and, share more of, and this doesn't mean you share your whole personal life, right? Like you don't have to open Pandora's box and show the world all of your skeletons, right? But people want to connect with you. Yeah. And so for me, that's talking about my kids, talking about my horse, sharing pictures of my husband and I, or, the Christmas tree or whatever it is that we're doing, just inviting people in to get to know you a little bit more.
Right. That's so important. Now, by challenging times, by definition, challenging times, I believe that they also provide a great opportunity for insight and for learning, just as you said. So for instance, my mantra of the year has become simplify, simplify, and you might have guessed it, simplify.
Simplify. Perfect.
So is there a key lesson or a key takeaway that this year has taught you?
So the biggest thing, and I actually have it on my bulletin board right next to me, is to be me. Mm-hmm. I grew overjoyed moms being me. And then when I got this vision for opulent life, it felt too big and terrifying that I felt I needed to be somebody else to do it. Right. And so being me just means all of me in this stage, not just part of me, right? Not just the mom side of me that grew overjoyed moms, but the me that loves, I'm training for a triathlon, God willing, that happens next year, right? And because I love the fitness side of things. I shattered my kneecap 3 years ago in an ATV accident. They told me I'd never walk normal again. I proved them wrong and ran a marathon 18 months later. And so that's a big part of my story now is I was too young to never run again when that happened to me. And so now I'm training for a triathlon, and I spend a lot of time with my kids and their sports, and that's really important to me. And so how can I not stifle myself even when I'm on the sidelines at my kids' soccer games, right? I get emotional at my kids' sporting events. I am legitimately the loudest parent there. Yeah, right? And my kids know it. And sometimes they're embarrassed by it, but when I'm not there, they miss it.
Sure.
And so how can I be all of me in all of these situations? And another little funny side note, I last year at the end of the year, I got a new car, and the first brand new car that I've ever gotten. And it's a 2019 Lincoln Navigator. I have 4 kids. It's a big car, right? We call it Elsa because it's white, like the Elsa from Frozen. And I just got a vanity plate for it last month, and it says bougie. And I was so excited about this vanity plate. And then the first couple of days that I drove around in it, I was so self-conscious. What are people going to think of me with this license plate? Am I showing up in that space? And thank God for my soul, right? Was like, why do we care what total strangers on the road think? And I was like, well, shoot, you're right. But what it did was it caused me to actually up level because I love the bougie things. I will not tell you that I'm materialistic because I can go without it, but I do like the finer things in life. And so it caused me to show up, not in my leggings, right? But to dress each day for the way I wanted to feel. And it was simple, but it was another expression of me.
Yes, up-leveling.
Yes, my husband's embarrassed. He doesn't want to drive the car ever, which is fine by me. Right? But it's me. I love being funny. I have all these little funny stories that I tell regularly. And I don't mind if I'm the butt of a joke because that brings more joy to life. And if somebody sees that license plate and laughs, cool, job done, right?
Exactly.
And so being me fully and completely was probably the biggest lesson and takeaway from it all.
Yeah, that's so important and also so hard to do sometimes.
Yes. Oh, yes. Yeah. No, because your ego comes in and tells you all the reasons you can't. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Now with the new year just around the corner, where do you see yourself in a year from now? So what are the next big things that you want to conquer in your business?
So I'm going to let this free flow because I have made things. I am looking at priorities and what it is that I want to accomplish. But the biggest thing is to be on stage. I love presenting in front of people. I've been a teacher for years. I teach online college classes, but I've also taught in the classroom. And I love an audience. Love it. I took acting classes in college. I actually did really well in an international acting competition. But I love being on stage. I'm very animated, if you can't tell in the video, right? And so being on stage in some shape or fashion is definitely a top priority. But increasing my impact, and not in a way where I take on an insane amount of clients. That's not on my roster. That is not anything I want to do. I love working with my clients very personally. I'll probably do a small intimate group program But I really love the personal side of the work I do. And so increasing my impact is, it's the ripple effect. So the clients that I work with, how are they increasing their impact, and their clients increasing their impact, and that kind of thing. That's more what I'm going for, rather than saying, hey, I've helped 30,000 women. Yeah, I mean, if I'm on stage and I talk to that many people, cool, right? But for me, I really want to bring the depth back to life, so to say, right? And not do all this surface level stuff that you see.
Right. So it's mostly about visibility and impact.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I hope we will have live events again next year, or you have to do all that online.
Yes, which is also okay. I don't mind. I do love the live events. I actually got to squeeze one in right before stuff shut down, and I loved it. It was a lot of fun. And so I'm hoping that there is more of that. I just want to share more of what I can with the world.
Well, all the best for you. And
Thank you.
Sure you are going to make it happen. Just before we go, I always love to leave my listeners with a few practical tips that they can basically implement just straight away. So would you like to share your favorite tips or strategies or techniques to help entrepreneurs thrive in these challenging times?
Absolutely. So I will actually give you, I'm going to give you 2 quick exercises that are really, 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 really powerful. And I love these. The very first one is what I call the opulent version of you. And this is so that you can start to create that roadmap of who you want to be. So very quick exercise, but really, really powerful. And so the first thing that you do is sit down and picture what your ideal day looks like, your perfect day, right? What time do you wake up? What do you have for breakfast? Do you exercise? How many hours do you spend working? What else do you do, right? And from that day, I want you to then look at the qualities, the characteristics, the habits, the emotions, the feelings, all of that part that makes up you in that day, right? The opulent version of you. So for me, the very first thing that I have on this list is that I wake up excited every day. Mm-hmm. If I was making $1 million a month, whatever number you want, right? How would I wake up? Well, shoot, I'd wake up really excited, right? And so I start to implement one of those each month. And I highlight it. I have this list right next to me, and I highlight it as that becomes one of my habits. And so the one that I'm working on right now is I make new recipes once a week. We've gotten into the habit of eating the same thing every week, and we're all done with it. And so I now implemented, I'm making a new recipe every week. And so I spend some time looking at, okay, what kind of food can I bring into the house, right? So the opulent version of you, that's exercise number 1. I'm actually going to give you 3 if I have time. Exercise number 2 here is your love, like, and hate list. Mm-hmm. And you can do this both in your personal life and in your business life. And what you do is you make a list of the things that you love doing in your business, that you like doing in your business, and that you hate doing in your business, right? Because when we're starting your business, we have to do all the things, right? Because we're not making any money. We've got to do all the things at the beginning, right? Mm-hmm. But what I did was I limited how much time I was spending on the things that I hated doing. Mm-hmm. Because I wanted to spend more times on the things that I liked and way more times on the things that I loved. And the goal was to, as I made more money, to delegate the hate things real fast. Right? Like, let's get that off the list. Let's be done with it, right? And so for me, the one of the big things on my hate list was sending emails to my email list. I hate doing that. Hate doing it. And so what I would do in the very beginning when I got started was I would take a really great post that I had that week, mm-hmm. and I would just put that in my email and I'd send it out.
That's what
Took me 30 seconds, but at least I got it done, and at least something went out on my email list, right?
Yeah.
And then I started to delegate that. And so now my podcast is delegated. Yes, I love my podcast, but I don't want to have to edit it. I've got other things that I can do, right? And so in my personal life, right? Like, I hate cleaning my house. Hate doing it. So hiring a cleaning lady was the first thing that I outsourced. Now, COVID, she hasn't been here in a while. It makes me really sad. But I was able to free up more time, which gave me more energy to do the things that I love to do.
Great.
And so that's a really good exercise. So I'm going to give you one more exercise if I have time. Okay.
Yeah, sure, go for it.
Okay. So this third one is probably one of my favorites, and it's super, I don't want to say super easy because there is a challenging part of it, but it's called the confidence list. And it's a fairly simple exercise where anytime you start a new program, or you raise your price, or maybe you're feeling a little less than in your business, make a list of 20 to 30 reasons why you're good at what you do. Okay. 10 is going to be real easy. You're going to get to 10 very quickly. But to get to 20 or 30 reasons, you're going to have to dig deep. And so for me, whenever I feel like my business isn't going as quickly as I want it to, one, I'll check in and say, okay, who am I being? Okay. Two, am I confident in the work that I'm actually doing? Because if you're not confident in the work you're doing, that's going to come across.
Yeah.
People are going to feel that. But what happens is your brain will search for anything you want it to search for.
So true.
If you feel like you're a failure, well, your brain's going to go, okay, here, yep, failure, 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 right? If you want to feel successful or confident, your brain's going to go, oh, well, you were really confident here, and you helped that person with this, and you're resourceful, and you're really attentive, and you're great intuitively. Like, your brain will come up with those 20 to 30 reasons. It might take you a little bit, but your brain's going to come up with it. And what I do is I have my clients leave it right by their bed or next to their desk. And they read it when they wake up in the morning or before they sit down to work. And I tell you what, when you have 20 to 30 internal reasons, right? Not external. It's not because Sally made $1,000 after working with you, or that Vivian gave you this excellent review, right? No, these are internal reasons. It's hard to not be motivated and activated after reading that list.
I know, because that's brain priming.
Exactly.
That's what you're doing.
Exactly. And so I love that exercise. Whenever I'm starting to feel down, I'm like, okay, I got to bust out this list, because sometimes we need that external motivation to get us going. We're human.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But when you can do that exercise and it becomes internal reasons, it's even more potent than somebody saying, oh, well, you look so pretty today.
That's because you're changing your inner programming over time, and that is what makes it so powerful, right?
Yes.
So I love those. Those were great tips. Thank you so much. By the way, I used a very similar exercise to the first one to design the perfect day.
I love that.
Implement that, because it's so great when you start making decisions based on what you want to achieve rather than what you want to avoid, right?
Yes.
That's where a lot of people start. They try to avoid all the things that they don't want to do, and then make all these fear-based decisions, which don't really get them to where they want to go.
Right.
So shifting that has been huge. So thank you so much for this.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So where can our listeners find you if they want to connect with you more?
Perfect. So I have a very basic landing page up for my website right now. The full thing is coming soon, but it's theopulentlife.com. You can find my Instagram, my Facebook. You can book a call with me all through that website. So that's probably the best place to go, instead of trying to get you to get all these handles. So just theopulentlife.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time and for all your great tips and insights and for sharing your story. It was such a pleasure talking to you today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course, take care. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to the Wired for Success podcast. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, please take a sec to rate and review my show. It would mean the world to me because you'd help me reach more entrepreneurs like yourself who would love this show. If you'd like to learn more about creating a widely successful business without sacrificing your health, relationships, or sanity, make sure to stick around and subscribe so you don't miss out on any future episodes. And why don't you help me spread the word and share this show with your friends? I'd really appreciate it, and I'm sure your friends will too. Want to continue this conversation, build real relationships, and join a community of like-minded entrepreneurs? Come join my free Facebook community for visionary entrepreneurs. I would love to see you there. In the meantime, if you haven't done so already, grab my free brain priming audio file for entrepreneurs and start priming your brain for success in less than 5 minutes each morning. Curious? You can learn more about how this works and download the audio file at www.wiredforsuccess.solutions. Until next time, bye!